Hey everyone, I'm Brett, and welcome to Nightwood Guns. I'm super excited about today's video because I get to nerd out over two of my favorite pistols. So if you've been thinking about getting a 2011 or double stack 1911 style pistol for any kind of serious use like home defense, everyday carry, duty use, or just any kind of self-defense whatsoever, then chances are your research has led you to either Bul Armory or, of course, Staccato. In my opinion, everything that is cheaper than these two options is either a range toy or a project gun that you're gonna have to gut and replace a bunch of parts in to ensure 100% reliability for serious use. And then, of course, everything more expensive than these can just be prohibitively expensive for many people out there. Especially for a gun you're planning on using as a workhorse or a carry gun, something that you're gonna probably beat around a little bit and definitely put a lot of rounds through. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the differences between Bul Armory and Staccato so you can decide which one of these manufacturers is going to best fit your needs. If you've enjoyed my channel in the past, or if throughout this video you find yourself enjoying your time here, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button because the more subscribers I have, the bigger and better things I can do on the channel. And of course, letting the video play all the way through to the end is the #1 way you can tell YouTube that you are enjoying the video and you'd like to recommend it to other people as well. Other than that, if you want to see the other fun ways that you can more directly support the channel, I encourage you to check the description down below. There are plenty of links down there, and I'm sure you'll find an option that you'll enjoy. Now, hopping into the video, a quick disclaimer, this is a Staccato XC. I no longer have my Staccato P because I was just shooting the XC all the time, and my C2 is currently on loan. But other than the integral compensator, the lightning cuts, the lighter trigger, and the DLC barrel, this has the same features as a Staccato P, which is the most comparable model to the Bul Armory SAS 2 tack series. So when comparing these two guns, the most obvious thing is the difference in price. Your typical Staccato P that is optic ready is going to cost 2,500 buckaroos, and the Bul Armory SAS 2 tack is going to cost 1,760. But that cost comparison in itself isn't very accurate because the Staccato does not come with an optic plate anymore. The Bul Armory does come with an RMR patterned optic plate, so that's going to be an additional cost of $130 for the Staccato. The Bul Armory also comes with lightning cuts in the slide, and if you want to add lightning cuts to your Staccato P, that's going to be additional $250. So if you're looking at these two out of the box, the difference is $740, but by the time you add on a few of the extras, it's like 1,100 bucks. So we're just going to call it a difference of about $1,000. So now that that is out of the way, the most important feature of any pistol is reliability and shootability, its performance. And I have to say, between the two, it's too close to call. They are both incredibly reliable. I have never had a firearm-related malfunction with either one of these pistols. I had a squib with bad ammo on the Bul Armory, and I did have a magazine-related problem with the Staccato. It was a Generation 2 magazine. They have since fixed the issue with the Generation 3 mags. And as far as how they both shoot, it's too close to call. Shootability, I would have to say, is about equal. An argument could be made that maybe the recoil impulse is a bit smoother on the Staccato, but the return to zero on the Bul Armory is better tuned out of the box. But at the end of the day, like I said, too close to call, too many variations in how people grip guns to know for sure, so we're just gonna call it a tie. So since reliability and performance are equal, it's going to boil down to your personal preferences in the little detail differences between the two guns, which is what we're gonna hop into now. For the first detail, let's talk about magazines. So Staccatos take 2011 pattern magazines. The upside to this is that you can use these mags in any other 2011 style pistol. So if you get a Staccato and you're planning on also getting Atlas Gunworks, a Nighthawk, the new Cabot, even moving up to Infinity, or if you're planning on getting one of those smaller custom shop boutique style 2011s that are popping up. There are so many great options for 2011 pistols out there, and if you plan on dropping tens of thousands of dollars on 2011s, then it's pretty nice that they all share the same magazine. The Bul Armory, on the other hand, actually takes a proprietary Bul Armory magazine. Now, the upsides of the Bul Armory magazine are, #1, you get a +1 to capacity in the same exact length of magazine. The final pro of Bul Armory mags is that they're more affordable than 2011 magazines. But again, if you're buying a bunch of 2011s, chances are you can afford the mags. I say that, but every single time I see somebody get a Staccato on the internet, they're tossing a Holosun on there, which just cracks me up. That's not to say anything bad about Holosun, it's funny that they wouldn't put a more expensive optic on there. It's like, I'm gonna buy the American-made 2011, but put a Chinese sight on it. Next up, we're gonna talk about the grip. So the Staccato grip, again, is your typical 2011 pattern grip module. So you can upgrade this grip module to, like a Chile or any of the other custom, metal grip modules that are typically on the higher end 2011s. So in other words, there is room to customize this and room to grow and upgrade this pistol if that's the route you decide to go. Staccato also comes with 2 different grip textures. They have their barbed or half star or lightning bolt. I'm not sure what they are. I think they're half stars because the Staccato logo is a star, I don't know. But then they have their tack texture, which is a very sandpapery, grippy texture. Now, that first texture I mentioned isn't very grippy. Some people like it for carry because it doesn't rub their sensitive little baby skin on their tummies. But I like the sandpapery grip because you can really lock your support hand in there, get that good positive support hand grip on the pistol to help keep it running flat. But the downside to the tack texture is it does fill up with dead skin, and once that dead skin builds up to a certain point, you kind of lose the grippiness a little bit. Bul Armory, on the other hand, has a proprietary grip module, so you can only run Bul Armory grips on this. Now, I personally prefer the grip texture on the Bul Armory. That's not knocking the tack texture on the Staccato. It's just a personal preference thing. It is more aggressive on the sides, and then it actually has a checkered back strap and a checkered front strap, very similar to higher end 1911s. And I like that because that checkering really locks in your shooting hand, and this very aggressive texture on the side along with the textured and dimpled grip screw really locks in your support hand. Both grip textures are sufficient. I would happily run either one of these. Just gonna boil down to personal preference. Also talking about the grips, they both have double undercuts, but as you can see, it's kind of a low profile, smooth, barely double undercut on the Staccato, versus the Bul Armory has a very aggressive and deep double undercut that really does help you get a very high grip on the pistol with both hands. That's not to say that you can't get a high grip on the Staccato, it's just that it's deeper on the Bul Armory. Both pistols also normally come with magwells. I carry both of these guns, so I've removed the magwells because they do print quite a bit. They're not concealed carry magwells by any means. Next up, let's talk about triggers. Hands down, the Bul Armory out of the box has the better trigger. Comparing it to a typical Staccato P or Staccato C2, the trigger is a little bit lighter, but it's not so light that it's scary. It also has a better pre-travel, a better travel, and a better reset, but just barely. I'm talking maybe like 5% better. But when you dry fire the 2 pistols next to each other, you definitely feel, yeah, the Bul Armory's probably a little better out of the box. The travel is definitely smoother and the break and reset are crisper. Those are the 2 features of the trigger that I don't think could be argued. The next huge pro about the Bul Armory trigger is that it is a modular trigger shoe. So that means if you want to adjust the trigger reach or the shape of the trigger, if you want to go flat or curved, all you have to do is, for 15 bucks, go on Bul Armory's website and order whatever trigger shoe plug you want. Just break the Loctite that's on the screw in the trigger shoe, back it out, replace the plug to whatever length and shape you want, and you're good to go. No completely breaking down the Pandora's box of a 2011 style pistol, and no voiding the warranty. The Staccato, on the other hand, has the benefit of being able to use any 2011 style trigger, but it's a huge pain in the butt to replace it. Next up is going to be the grip safety, and each one has a pro and each one has a con compared to one another. So again, this is gonna be a personal preference thing. Number 1 is going to be the beaver tail on the grip safety. The Bul Armory comes with this extra long beaver tail on the grip safety that people loved on 1911s back when they were modernized, because hammer bite was a real problem with 1911s that had spurred hammers. So this long beaver tail typically offers more leverage to help keep the gun down, and it offers a more comfortable shooting experience. Staccato, on the other hand, chops their beaver tail off, and their reasoning behind that is if you are going to draw this in a hurry out of the holster, you don't have anything that your hand could get poked on or caught on. You can just kind of hit that beaver tail and it guides your hand down into place because there's nothing in the way. So their argument is it makes for a faster draw out of a duty holster. The other pro that I've noticed is for appendix carry. the chopped beaver tail doesn't poke you as much when you bend over. So if you're considering appendix carrying one of these and you are particularly sensitive to discomfort, then the Staccato is probably going to be the way to go, at least compared to the tack series, because of the chopped beaver tail. Because when bending over with the SAS2 tack beaver tail, it can poke you a little bit. Another thing with the grip safeties, you can see on the Bul Armory that the beaver tail is not finished, giving it a two-tone look. Now there's a reason that it's unfinished. It's because Bul Armory does so many passes of quality control that if they need to do any last-minute fitting to the beaver tail, they don't have to fit it and then send it back for refinishing, or send it out with a blemished grip safety. And if you know anything about 1911 style pistols, the tuning and fitment of the grip safety is one of the most important parts of the entire pistol. Staccato, on the other hand, definitely spends the extra time and money making sure the grip safety is fully finished. But here's where the payoff is. The Bul Armory's grip safety is tuned better than the Staccato. Let me demonstrate. So you can tell how well a grip safety is tuned by, with the safety on, applying pressure to the trigger and then slowly pushing in the grip safety. And you see how far, what percentage of the way in it takes before it clicks like that. And then you can release and see how far it pushes out. The Bul Armory activates at about 20%, which is beyond impressive. That is like a custom shop, extremely high dollar, custom tuned 1911. Now the reason that's important is because if you're in a hurry, adrenaline is pumping, and you're fighting someone off of you and you can't get a perfect grip on the gun or a loose grip on the gun, you're injured, you don't have to activate the grip safety as far to be able to touch off a round. Now on the Staccato here, and keep in mind, this is their flagship model, this is the XC, it activates at about 40%. Now, what many people will consider a win about the Staccato is it has a toolless guide rod. That means disassembly is going to be easier on this as it doesn't require a tool. The Bul Armory does use a tooled guide rod, but their thought process behind that is that a toolless guide rod is a potential point of failure under stress or extremely high round counts. So they would rather have the toolless one, and if you want from Bul Armory, you can purchase a toolless guide rod, but they do only recommend that for competition. Next up, we're going to talk about optic readiness. The Bul Armory SAS2 tack comes with an RMR pattern optic plate, whereas the Staccato does not come with any optic plate. That being said, both optic systems are sturdy and overbuilt, so you can't really go wrong with either one. And while we're talking about optic readiness, let's talk about sights. The Staccato comes with a fiber optic front sight and an adjustable rear sight. So if you're planning on running iron sights only, then the Staccato is going to come with a better sight setup. The Bul Armory comes with a Glock style rear sight that you can drift, but it's obviously not as easy to adjust as an adjustable. And it comes with a serrated black front sight. That's because they're planning on you mounting an optic on this, and they want the iron sights to be there as a backup and not crowd the dot. Now this is the part where we get into some of the more spicy stuff. We're going to talk about how they're made. So the Staccato is made using all forged parts. Now that's important to a lot of people because they believe forged parts are sturdier and higher quality than MIM parts. So if you don't know what mimming is, it's metal injection molding, and what they do is they take powdered steel and a powdered binder, mix it together into powdered feedstock. They then take that, put it into a mold, and it comes out as the exact shape they want it to, so it's more consistent than forging. Definitely takes a lot less time. But if it's heat treated improperly, that is where issues can arise. But keep in mind, if a forged metal is also heat treated improperly, it can have major issues. I've seen a couple of people online post pictures of Tisas 1911s that are 100% forged, and the slides just broke in half. So at the end of the day, whether it's mimmed or forged, you have to consider the quality control of the company. Now, the reason people get hung up on MIM parts is because if it's done incorrectly, it is more likely to have issues than a forged part. So you have to look at the quality control of the manufacturer to decide whether or not their mimming process is done properly. And looking at Bul Armory's track record, I would say it is. It's not like Bul Armory parts are out there breaking like crazy. And besides, it's only a few small parts that are mimmed by Bul Armory, specifically the firing pin stop, which is the thing that the firing pin is in right there. Also, the ejector is MIM, and there might be a couple of more small parts. I'm not 100% sure. Those are the two that I'm sure of. But I think some people like the idea that every single little part is forged and, you know, no corners were cut. And if that's very important to you, then the Staccato is a no-brainer. However, like I said, the SAS2 tack is not out there breaking in droves. We would know about it. Next up, we're going to talk about fit and finish, and I'm sorry, at the end of the day, the Staccato is the nicer gun. Staccatos just feel more expensive. Their tolerances are like 1% tighter, and the most important part is they take the time to go around and melt all of the features on the gun, so every edge, every point is rounded off and smoothed out, so it is an extremely comfortable pistol to hold. When you pick up a Staccato, it feels like a luxury car, you know, nice leather seats. It's just an overall comfortable experience. But somehow with Staccato, no sacrifices are made. You're still getting that very rugged reliability and duty-ready build quality. Overall, the Staccato is just a really nice gun. But the Bul Armory, on the other hand, does not care if you are a soft-handed accountant with money to burn. This pistol was made for people with rough and manly hands that aren't gonna complain about a couple of hot spots on a gun. So while the tolerances are still tighter than 99.9% of the pistols you're gonna find out there, it is like 1%, just a little tiny bit looser than a Staccato. And when you hold it and grip tight, you can definitely feel a couple of sharp points on there. And again, like I said, the grip texture is very aggressive. So I'm gonna say you're gonna have to do an honest assessment of your hands, and if you want the Bul Armory, just expect you're gonna have to shoot it quite a bit to build up some calluses. So I did mention fit and finish, and the Staccato does have a superior finish with their DLC finish, diamond-like carbon. It is extremely scratch resistant, wear resistant, and corrosion resistant. It is currently the best black finish you can put on pretty much any firearm. Bul Armory goes with a PVD finish because that's all they are allowed to do by their government, and it really is the second best black finish you can put on a gun. It does show scratches, so if you take a quarter or a zipper and scratch it, it's gonna leave a mark on there, but it's still very corrosion resistant and wear resistant to, let's say, holster wear. Next up, and this is a huge deal for a lot of people, Staccato has a lifetime warranty as long as you do not change anything on the gun. If you disassemble the gun beyond just a field stripping level for maintenance, or if you make any cosmetic alterations to the gun, you lose your lifetime warranty. Their customer service is still usually pretty good. They'll probably take care of you if it's nothing crazy, but you do lose the warranty technically on paper. But the lifetime warranty is hard to beat when you're investing this much money in a pistol. The Bul Armory, on the other hand, has a 1-year warranty, so definitely put a few rounds through it in that first year just to make sure there are no defects, but quality control is pretty great from both companies, nothing really to worry about there, but it is nice having the peace of mind of a lifetime warranty. And finally, we're going to talk about country of manufacturer. The Staccato is made in Texas in the good old US of A. So if you are I buy American made only and I want to support American companies, then 100% Staccato is your gun. But if being made in the USA is not on the top of your priority list, the Bul Armory SAS2 tack is made in Israel. So in conclusion, both pistols have identical reliability and their performance is honestly too close to call. For 1,000 clams more, if you get a Staccato P or a Staccato C2, you are getting a DLC finish, you are getting all of the edges rounded off, you're getting made in America, and you're getting a lifetime warranty. But over at Bul Armory, for 1,000 less, you are getting a +1 to magazine capacity and a better trigger out of the box. So if you are between Bul Armory and Staccato, you just have to decide if that $1,000 difference is worth it to you. Or you can be like me and pick both, because both are incredible pistols in their own right. Both of these pistols are permanent residents with me, and I carry them all the time. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, everyone. It was great seeing ya, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm Brett, and this was Nightwood Guns. Nightwood out!